How's everybody doing this morning? L.A.Kendrick with another tale from the vault of wood. You did. Let me get you guys something real quick before I cut out, okay? All right, you guys know how we do. One shot, one take. Sharing scary stories, telling things that have happened. Supernatural, extra-dimensional, ultra-dimensional, ET, government conspiracy, things all along those lines. And I try to make sure that the ambience in the room matches the conversational piece that we're doing, all right? So make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe. I'm on my way to 200 and 195 now. Like I say, just want to see what'll happen. Again, we're not getting paid to do this, so we're not professionals at this. And let's just go from there. The party don't start till you walk in, and now that you're here, let's begin. Another story from one of you guys, all right? Don't know how true it is. You can try to validate it if you want to, but I like when you guys share the stories nonetheless. This comes from one of the followers, and he said that he had an experience that changed him. So he said he was coming home from a business trip, and what was happening was it was real, of course it was at night, around 1 a.m., 2 a.m. in the morning, and he says that he was coming through a wooded area, but he was like a mile, about 2 miles from his house, a mile and a half, 2 miles from his home. And he's driving through this area, this wooded, heavily wooded on both sides. And his car all of a sudden stops, after he's enjoying everything, and the car stops. And he says he doesn't understand what happened or why it stopped. So now, he gets out, he puts on his headlamps, he takes a couple of road flares just in case, and he opens up the hood of the car to see if everything was loose. He checked the cables, battery cables were good, no belts were broken that he could see or identify, the distributor cap was fine, so he couldn't understand what was going on, so he started scratching his head. Here's this low vibrational buzzing over his head. So when he looks up, about 200, 300 feet above him, he sees this blue orb. And he said the orb transformed into what appeared to him to be a saucer-shaped crab. And it was pulsating blue. And he said he just stopped. He was in awe and he was in shock. He was thinking, oh, you gotta be kidding me. And he said that he just, he was trying to figure out what was going on. But then the mysterious craft shot two beams or two projectiles into the forest line on the right side of him, which is where the car was, on the right side of the fence line. He said then it raised up a little bit higher and it shot off. Now he said he's nervous, really, really nervous at this point, still trying to figure out what's going on. So he jumps into the car, tries to start it again, nothing. He goes back out, he's trying to put, he's debating whether or not to put flares out. And also you can hear scuffling along the wood line. So he shines his headlamp over into the direction of the wood line, and you can see these things that look like spiders. Big spiders, big freaking spiders. He said they didn't have the hairy tarantula look or anything like that, just hairy, just spiders. And so he didn't know what to think. And again, his SUV has broken down and stopped. He doesn't realize, he doesn't know how he's going to get away or get out. So he takes the signal, he takes one of the road flares and he lights it and he throws it to distract these things. And they both went immediately to the flare. So he runs to the back of the SUV. Luckily for him, he had a mountain bike on the back of the car. The SUV, he says. So he pulls that bad boy out, he jumps on it and he starts hitting it, he starts huffing. He's tearing through the left side because he knows that there is a gas station, he said, a convenience store, a little bit further down, maybe a mile down. So he knows if he can just get there, see some other people, make a phone call, he'll be good to go. And he said he's huffing, and he said he could hear those things chasing him through the wood line on his side. He said they were tearing stuff up. He said he could actually hear one up in the trees jumping from tree to tree while the other one was on the ground coming at him. He said that it's terrifying. He stops and he throws another flare down because it's a trail, so he knows the area pretty well. So apparently he's on a bike trail. is what he was saying. Apparently, he knows the trail pretty well. So he throws down the flare. They go to the flare again. But this time he said they didn't stay as long as they stayed in the initial one. And he's still just going all at it. So he hits a creek. And as he hits the creek, he runs into some discomfort, of course, because, you know, he has to, it's not that deep, but it's enough to where it throws him a little bit. So he loses his footing on the paddle, and now he's got to go up an embankment. And when he does this, he puts the, you know, if you guys ever rode a mountain bike, he puts the bike in high gear so it's easier to paddle, but you can still go up the hill quicker with less effort, right? So he does that. And I mean, he's going all out, he says. So he comes down the embankment, and the things are right on his heel, pretty much. Maybe 75 to maybe 100 feet behind him. He said they're gaining. And suddenly he hits a down log, and he says he doesn't understand where the log comes from because he's familiar with that area. And he said he just did, you know, he just been biking there, you know, not too long ago because of the trail. If you guys ever seen these trails lead and go into a lot of places that you wouldn't think that they would go. So there's that. So he hits the log, he flips over it. Trees are cutting him in his face. The branches are smacking him in the face, cutting up his face. And he flips over and he's stumbling to try to get back up. But when he gets up, the bike wheel, the front tire is just bent. Now he's trying to figure out how he's going to get away because his bike has been damaged. And no sooner than that, they surround him. Or should I say he said one was in front, one was to the left, a little bit to him. So he picks up the bike and he throws the bike at him. He said they tore the bike apart as he was running to get away. And just as he came up over the hill, guess what? Now there's a convenience store, the gas station. He said he scrambles inside. He said he looked back and the creatures, he could see movement. He said, but they would not come out until the open light of the gas station. He runs in, tells the store clerk, you have a phone, could you please call the cops? Something's trying to kill me out here, something's chasing me, and you're not gonna believe me, it sounds crazy. Because who would believe a story like that? And he said he's just shocked and he's scared and he's terrified. So he tells the store clerk, it calls the cops, and the guy is trying to explain to him what he'd seen. And the store clerk verified that there were he said he had been seeing lights up in the sky all night long. He said he didn't know what it was. And, you know, people had been coming in reporting that they'd seen the lights. So when the cop came, took the guy's report, and he said he tried to do a follow-up, and he said he never heard anything else about the report that he made about those spider-like creatures trying to kill him, trying to get him. They apparently came from a UFO. And that's my story for the morning. You guys make sure that you like, share, comment, and subscribe. Again, I got a new book coming out, Wraith War, and some other stuff coming out. So you guys keep your fingers crossed. I'm working with some people, trying to network with some important people. Again, the stuff that I'm paying for comes out of my pocket. That's being paid for comes out of my pocket. So I need some sponsorship, and I'm trying to get some sponsors to help me turn this into some bigger stuff for you guys, okay? And with that being said, we're going to close this bad boy out. Would you dare want to be caught in a situation like that? I know I wouldn't. But you guys tell me what you think in the comments below. And in closing, make sure you check your dark homes, your dark closets, the dark recesses of your home. And if you happen to work late at night or into the wee hours of the morning like I'm doing right now, make sure that when you go outside, you check around your car, under your car, inside of your car. Be mindful of these surroundings and aware of these surroundings, because you never know what's lurking in the dark, waiting to make you a story with spider-like creatures from an extraterrestrial craft. And this has been L.A.Kendrick. And you guys like, share, comment, subscribe. And until next time, you guys be safe out there and fill in the rest.